Alright, we just finished game number 1 between NonY and Nazgul, and NonY actually going with an awesome Dark Templar build. Even Husky didn't expect it, and he's a Protoss player. This Dark Templar build has a very small window of opportunity, and NonY completely blew through that window. Like, he just charged head through, and Nazgul didn't have the observer in time, and the Dark Templar came in and started raiding both expansions. Unfortunately for Nazgul, he also had his probes idle at the 6 o'clock for the longest time. And so NonY was able to take game number 1 between him and Nazgul on Metalopolis. Nazgul chooses the next map, and it is going to be on Steps of War. So without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to that game. By the way, check out our sponsor, iRip. Go to Google, type in iRip, one word. The link is in the more info section down below.
Hello everyone, this is H to the Husky here with HD, and this is going to be the HDH Invitational Round of 8. This could very well be the last game from the Round of 8, or it could go on to a game number 3. It's all going to come down to if Liquid Nazgul can pull it together and, win a game to take it into the ace match. So Liquid Nazgul spawning in the bottom left side, while NonY, your blue Protoss, spawning in the right side. Before I hand it off to HD, I just got to say, go check out our sponsor, iRip. Just go to Google, type in the 4 letters. It is one word, and go check them out. So anyways, how are you doing, HD?
Doing pretty good, Husky. I think this is interesting that Nazgul chose Steps of War, especially since he did just lose the first game. Now, Steps of War is known to be a map that you can definitely be early aggressive on, simply because the rush distance is just like nothing. It's like walking across the block from, house to house. So it's definitely something that NonY is probably really concerned about, and that's indicated by the fact that he sent this probe out early on, right after the pylon finished, just to see if there's any kind of cheese going on. But I think Nazgul is going to play standard, but of course, as a Protoss player, you've always got that option of going that 4-gate early aggression build, and of course, that's something that every Protoss player definitely does have to watch out for.
Absolutely, and Protoss vs. Protoss 4-gate push is very, very strong, especially like you're saying, HD, on this map. If you're able to deny that scouting and go that build, either player could go that build right now, and if you can deny the scouting, take them by surprise, take them when they're either taking their expansion or when they start to tech up, that's the window of opportunity there to strike them and punch them in the face. I don't know if we're going to see that this game. We may, though. There's always an increased chance of that when there's 2 Protoss because, double the chance of someone to go that. But for now, it does look like the gas is a little bit delayed here for Nazgul, while it looks like NonY's is actually fairly early, and so that is on the way right now, and he is getting his pylon, and yeah, so we'll have to see, though. It does look like NonY may be going for an earlier tech, but it does look like Nazgul gonna be aggressive, chrono boosting that first Zealot out, and his gateway not only is done earlier, but he's gonna be chrono boosting it right away, so definitely some early pressure here from Nazgul as this game's gonna get started.
Right, notice how the rally point already set to go all the way across the map, straight into the heart of NonY's base. And NonY here, and on the other hand, has actually got his rally gate set right in front of the choke. So NonY saw with his scouting probe that the chrono boost was being saved for that gateway. Now the Zealot is making its way across the map. So we're going to see how NonY holds this off. I think he's going to be just fine. And we don't see a second Zealot chrono boosted on the way. So I think Nazgul just going to try to apply a little bit of early pressure, see what he can do with this early Zealot, but he's going to have to be forced to fall back pretty soon. Now, meanwhile, we do have a Cybernetics core going up for NonY as well. So both players playing pretty standard. Both Zealots kind of facing each other off, staring at each other, staring each other down across, like, a short distance. And now Nazgul going to be forced to fall back.
Yeah, there was kind of a death stare going on there, but then they got the confidence, the NonY lots got the confidence to move out once there was a second one, and there we go. I was gonna say, Matt, Nazgul isn't making a second unit by now, gonna be in a lot of trouble, but he is gonna get that sentry. Maybe he'll have enough for a force field, and it's just, though, this probe is so annoying from NonY, he's actually able to scout exactly what's going on, and he's gonna see a sentries popping out, which is really gonna give Nazgul the advantage here in this battle, because he can force field as well as micro. There you go, splitting them up like that, absolutely perfect, actually. That is something difficult to do, is to split up 2 Zealots that are right on top of each other, there. And the Zealot almost going down to that probe, getting down to 8 HP. But there we go. NonY is going to have to back out. And actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah, so far, Liquid Nazgul has not lost any units, while NonY has already lost 2. One of those was a probe, which doesn't show up in the counter, and then one of those was a Zealot. So that's actually a pretty big blow in the very first minutes of this game.
Now, we do have a fast robotics facility already going down for NonY off of one gate. He's throwing down his second gateway now and a third gateway as well. So I think we might be seeing some early aggression from NonY as that first initial push actually kind of failed. Nazgul actually coming up with 2 Zealots and a Sentry as well. There's a Stalker to fend this off. And oh, NonY's got to be careful here. He needs to get this Stalker behind enemy lines, or behind his friendly lines at least. And another nice force field. So we've seen 2 great force fields from both players already. Both these Zealots have their days numbered, and those both go and, you know, sacrifice their life for ire. As Nazgul is going to be forced to fall back, he's throwing up his expansion as well. So I don't see a game-changing maneuver from any player so far, and of course there is no 4-gate early push, like we said earlier, from any player so far yet.
Right now, I think it's really smart for Nazgul to go ahead and get the expansion. He's basically doing the same thing we saw last game, where he's going to be cutting a gateway for just a little bit to get enough minerals to get that, but he's not going to be teching up now. He is going to be throwing down the 2 additional gates, so by the time that the push from NonY gets out across the map, Nazgul should be in a pretty comfortable position right now, and NonY is going to fall behind in the economy, and he's not making an immortal or anything out of there, so I'm kind of curious to see what his plan is. It looks like he may be securing his own expansion, but no matter which way you cut it, he's going to be behind simply because of the timing of that expansion. I mean, look, Liquid Nazgul is almost done completely already, although NonY's going to see what's going on, see he's behind, and I mean, we say this a lot, but it is going to be up to NonY to decide what to do, because if they just try and play straight up from here, he's going to be a couple minutes behind, but he will have the tech advantage. So just kind of curious to see if Liquid Nazgul is going to push out once this expansion kicks in, or if he's just going to play it safe, sit in his lazy boy, and wait for NonY to move out.
Right, you do make a great point that NonY has the tech advantage, but Nazgul has the economic advantage, as he's now got that second base up and running. The probes are running over there to start saturating it. So I think it's going to be, like you said, up to NonY to make some kind of an early aggressive move here and force Nazgul to warp in extra units. Now, that is a very large army of sentries. That's a lot of sentries there. And the great thing about sentries is their DPS, this is pre-patch 11, so they do have still have quite a bit of damage and a lot of a punch to their pack as well. So now they are making a move up to this large ramp, which NonY has not covered. He doesn't have any cannons or anything, and there's going to be a big battle. Force just going up right now. Lots of force field going down, separating a lot of the forces, and Nazgul is in a very good position right now, making an early push off of his 4 gateways to actually, he might even be able to crush the remains of NonY's forces as he's desperately trying to warp in some more Stalkers to deal with this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. The Stalkers are just melting away here to these Sentries. Sentries, a lot of people underestimate Sentries, and once you start getting quite a few, they are very strong against Protoss. They actually do a lot of damage. Look at that, even about to melt away the Stalker before he finishes warping in. And 4 more Zealots, that's exactly what he needs right now to protect these Sentries. One Sentry has 4 kills, the other one has 3, just showing us how good of a position Liquid Nazgul is in, eating up these probes as they're trying to run away. And apparently NonY now leaves the game, so apparently if you're a blue Protoss, you have a higher chance of losing the game, because last game Nazgul lost and he was blue. Probably no connection, but we are going to go on to game number 3. It is going to be the ace match, the last game of the round of 8. So if NonY wins, he advances to face, I don't want to spoil it because some people don't watch him in order, but if Liquid Nazgul wins the next one, then he advances. So I am ready for this, though.
Yeah, I gotta say, Protoss versus Protoss makes the least sense to me, because Nazgul really got these 4 gateways late, but he still made it a great push to end the game, as NonY actually had that kind of a little bit later Nexus. So great game there overall, and they are tied up now as we move on to the game 3.